A lot of you have asked me to make more defending videos on this channel, so in this video I want to go over how to play center back in football. I'm going to give you 8 different things that you can apply to your game to be a better center back. That's coming up next. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dave and this is Simply Soccer, where we help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. And I do that through releasing weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos just like this one. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon down below. The center back position has always been a very instrumental position for any team, but I think more so than ever, it is being highlighted how important this position is, with players like Virgil van Dijk coming out and players like Vincent Kompany who've been playing this position so effectively for so long. We can see what a great center back can do for a team. So let's get right into it with number 1, which is keep it simple. Let's remember first and foremost that this is mainly a strictly defensive position. You want to be playing it simple and keeping it simple 95% of the time. Now that doesn't mean that there won't be opportunities for you to take a little bit of a risk in certain scenarios. But for the main part, you want to keep your passing simple and you want to be really not so fussy about everything you do. Keep it tidy and keep it simple, and we'll go over the exceptions to this later in this video. But for the most part, you overcomplicate things at the back and you're just asking for trouble. Number 2 might be the most important on this list, and it's positioning. And I go over this all the time, but just as a reminder, work on your positioning constantly. And so what does that mean? That means knowing where you need to be based on what happens on the pitch. Where do you generally need to be? Where do you need to be if X, Y, and Z happens? Where do you need to be if one of your teammates is pulled out of position? Do you need to go cover that space and tell him to take up your space? Do you need to communicate and have one of your other players do the same? You need to know where you need to be on the pitch. This is half the battle of defending. Because if you're in the right positions, then you're going to more easily get tackles in. You're going to be able to intercept the ball. You're going to be able to read the game more effectively. Or if you're out of position, you're going to get caught off guard way more than you should. Number 3 is another very important one, and it's calmness. There are going to be many pressure situations if you're a center back, especially if you're going up against a good team, a very attacking team. You know, they're going to be put in positions where they're in the box and it's a risk to tackle them. You're going to be put into positions where pressure's put on you when you're the last man. And you need to keep that coolness, that calmness in order to deal with that situation, because if you panic, that's when mistakes happen. When you panic, that's when you boot the ball upfield when nobody's around you. When you panic, that's when you hold on to it that little second extra, which allows them to pickpocket the ball from you and go on to possibly score. It's being able to keep your calm even when the pressure is on back there that's really going to elevate your game in this position. So just remember to keep a cool head, to keep your calm, to recompose yourself if you need to, if you have a wild moment, so that you're still in tune with the game and you're not making, these rash decisions all the time. Speaking of decisions, number 4 is decision making. As a defender, a lot of the times it's going to be which option is going to do the less damage. For example, you could be about to receive the ball and have no pass, and really the safest thing to do is to kick it out of play. Well, maybe that's the best thing to do in that situation. Don't be afraid of kicking it out. Something I used to learn all the time from almost every coach was, when in doubt, kick it out. Because it's much better, or it's a much better option to boot it out of play, even though you're going to lose possession, than to have the ball stripped from you when you have it. So you need to constantly weigh your options. Do I go in for a tackle here? Do I not? What is going to prevent them from doing damage? If you look at the best defenders, the best center backs, they rarely make mistakes that lead to goals. Number 5 is the skill set. And what I mean by this is the modern day center back can't just be a tough guy who's pretty good at tackling and can hoof the ball upfield. You're asked to do a lot more in this day and age. And that means having good passing ability. That means being able to control the ball well. That means doing a lot more than just the usual defending stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, the typical normal defending stuff that you're asked to do, that should be your biggest skill set. You're a defender first, not an attacker, not a playmaker, all of that stuff. But if you can add that to your game, it's just going to make you more valuable. For example, and I'm going to use this example more than once, or this player, Van Dijk is more than just a good defender. He's able to drive forward with the ball. He has an incredible passing range. He even chips in with goals and assists. And if you want to be an even better center back, you want to be working on the skills that will allow you to do that. Your passing, your control, your ability to dribble the ball forward when you need to, or the space is available and it makes sense. So although you should mainly focus on what your position is all about, which is the defensive stuff, also make sure you are giving time to those other skills that are just going to elevate you as a player overall. Okay, so this next one, number 6, is a little more optional, but it is going to enhance your game, and that's leadership. And if you look at some of the best center backs, almost all of them were leaders. Almost all of them communicated well with their back line. They organized the back line. You know, as a center back, you can see most of the field. It gives you the opportunity, if you're a good communicator, if you're someone who is good tactically, to organize the back line, to tell players where they need to be if they're out of position, you know, to communicate effectively with your team. And so not every center back, or even good center back, is a leader. But developing your leadership skills, your communication skills, is only going to elevate your game as a center back. So this is something you can work on over time. So if you're not quite a leader yet, work up to it. But just remember, this is something that can help your game and make you a more valuable player in this position. Okay, number 7 has to do with one of the main skills you need in being a center back, which is your tackling ability. But it's not just your ability to actually cleanly tackle. It's your ability to know when to tackle and when not to, when to go in and when not to. So this is kind of a part of decision making. But if you notice, some of the best center backs, they don't always go into the tackle. They don't make risky challenges all the time. They don't lash in or lunge in. You know, again, I'm going to use Van Dijk as an example. Second time I'm going to do this, and not the last. But he's really good at knowing when to contain the defender and allow him to take a heavy touch or to get into a congested area where he has reinforcements, and when he has the upper hand and can go in for the tackle. You really want to make sure you're smart with your tackling, because in this day and age, again, you're going to get players who are tricky. You're going to get players who will want you to think you can get the ball and then take it away from you when you come in. So you need to get smart at being able to contain. You need to get smart about not losing your head and going in when the smallest window of opportunity presents itself, because again, you get a fast, speedy player who knows what they're doing with quick feet. They'll just take it away from you. They'll draw the foul, things of that nature. And like I just alluded to, number 8 is watch the best. I'm a huge fan of analyzing the best players to see what you can take from their game and add to yours. And I don't care what level you're at and what level they're at. You know, I don't care if you're just a rec league player trying to get better. You can learn from the best and apply what they do to your own game. So if you watch Van Dijk, for example, who I've been using a lot in this because I think he's one of the best in the world at this, or at center back, is his decision making. You can see why does he do certain things. You know, you can see when he actually tackles and when he backs off. You can see him organizing the defense. You can see when does he get forward and take more risks. When does he play long passes. You can see the skill set that he has driving forward, and when enough is enough and he stops driving forward and passes it off so he doesn't lose it. You can observe all of these things when you start analyzing the best. Okay guys, question of the day is, first and foremost, do you play this position? Let me know in the comments. And also let me know, out of everything that I went over, what are you best at? So out of the 8 things we covered, which is your defining or best attribute out of all of them? And you can also let me know which one you need to work on the most. Let me know down below. All right guys, thank you once again for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you want me to cover some other positions. Let me know which positions you want me to cover. Let me know down there again in the comments. Check out the other 2 videos I put up on screen now to help you improve your game, stand out on the pitch even more. Please like this video. It lets me know that you like this content, and I'll see you in the next one.